Welcome to Box.gg's January Town Hall recap. My name is Zach Drapala, and here's a quick overview of what's to come in today's video. First, a warm welcome to our community manager Luke as he joins Mylan, our CEO, to cover the state of Boxed in 2025, examining our growth, partners, and more. Then, we've got a ton of product updates, including the addition of Lorcana to the site, a brand new box opening style and animation, as well as what's to come in the near future. From there, we'll dive into our Shroud Fragathon partnership, an incredible opportunity and charity event for St. Jude Children's Hospital. Of course, there will be Q&A segments throughout, touching on limited time boxes, profiles, and our favorite Pokemon. Thanks so much for being a part of our community, and enjoy the Town Hall.
Welcome everyone to the first Town Hall of 2025. Thank you all for joining us. For anyone who's new, again, these Town Halls are to update you guys on the company, the website, give you the opportunity to ask questions of us. And it's one of the main ways that we try to maintain transparency with our customers and build this community together. So I'm Mylan, or Skiz. I'm our CEO, and I'm joined today by our new community manager, which I'm sure a lot of you already recognize, Luke. So how's it going, Luke?
I'm very, very well, mate. It's been a busy week and got a lot going on, as you know. But yeah, really, really excited. Happy to be here. Loving it so far. And it's been a good getting to know everyone. I don't know if you want to give me just a rundown of myself.
Yeah, how about you give us an introduction?
Oh, so before here, I used to work at TikTok, guys. So yeah, but I've been a massive collector of TCGs and pretty much everything. For context, my parents used to actually work for Wizards of the Coast, so I happen to have still some sealed boxes from back in the day in a few languages, which is pretty damn dope to have as a an avid Pokemon fan. Been a big fan of collecting some other stuff like One Piece. I'm a massive collector of. In video games, I've been a big collector of Counter-Strike skins. I also used to trade skins a lot. So yeah, this is kind of like a dream for me working somewhere like here, and it's definitely been right, Chloe. I don't agree with that slander, but it's been good, being a part of a community where everyone's, showing the same kind of love for collectibles like we have.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thank you for that. And as you guys have probably already seen Luke around in the Discord and on the site, he's been really awesome. And we talked a lot, me and Scott, who was in previous town halls, about how building the community last year and especially this year is a really important sort of top of our priority list. And so having someone dedicated to that really makes that possible. So big round of applause for Luke, and thank you so much for joining us. As you guys can probably guess, we are going to be talking a lot about everything that's been going on Boxed over the last few months, because we haven't done one of these in probably closer to 2 months, given the holidays and whatnot. And there's a lot of updates and a lot of exciting announcements, as you guys have seen. To give a quick overview of the agenda, we're going to do a sort of state of Boxed. This is a first for us, but essentially just tell you guys a little bit about where the business is at. Because we've grown a lot. And I think, especially for people who have been around a while, they probably still see us as the small, scrappy team of a few people trying to figure out how to ship, trading cards. But now we've grown a ton, and there's a lot to talk about on how we've kind of established ourselves. But then beyond that, we have a ton of product updates. I'm sure a lot of you saw them today and over the last few months. And then one of the biggest points that excites me a ton is our Shroud partnership, which we announced about a week ago. It's been in the works for a long time, and there's a lot to talk about there. And then, as always, we'll wrap up with a Q&A to answer any of your guys' questions. And we'll also have some Q&As sprinkled in between, so we can take a break between sections. So, with all of that, I think the first thing to jump into is really the state of Boxed. So talking about where we're at as a company, all the growth that we've seen, and give you guys a picture sort of behind the scenes on what's going on here. So before diving into all the updates on the site, I think it's a big context set for a lot of people is how big our operation has become, because it hasn't been easy. And you guys, a lot of our longer time customers know that we've improved a lot in the last few months, especially in the last like 6 to 12 months. As of today, and these might be a little bit outdated already, we have over 200,000 users. We have had over 30 million boxes open on the platform, which is ridiculous. I think this does include battles, although correct me if anyone knows if I'm wrong. But we've had many, many thousands of battles, although I don't see a stat here. Uh, we've shipped in the six figures of trading cards now. So we've shipped over 100,000 physical cards. I know that that number is skyrocketing. It might be closer to 200,000 now. But we are well into the six figures of trading cards shipped, which is crazy if you just think about the amount of physical cardboard that is. Um, we've had over 3.5 million boxes opened by user created boxes in the Forge. So we launched the Forge in October. It's probably one of the most successful features where you guys get to create your own boxes, choose items that we have available, and customize the odds and customize the pricing, and then put them out in the world for other people to open. And you guys have opened 3.5 million of those. So boxes that we didn't even make, and earned a commission along the way. And then last but not least, all of you here today represent a portion of our Discord server, which now has over 65,000 people. And I say this all just because it's crazy looking back, and none of this is possible without everyone in here today, as well as everyone who's supported us along the way. And so, as we talk about all these big moments, like being able to work with someone like Shroud, all the new features, all this stuff, I just want to give a massive thank you for everyone here who's made this possible and helped bring us to this point. I really do see us all as a collective community, myself included, and we've been able to accomplish this together and been able to send tons of dope trading cards because of it. So, moving on from that, some other updates in state of affairs. Fulfillment, as you guys know, we experienced a lot of challenges in the past with fulfillment. Around this time last year, we essentially were left out to or left hanging, I should say, by our fulfillment partner in the past, where we were working with a third party to help us send cards. And now we've, over the course of the last year, not only had to augment that and build our own physical warehouse and build all the inventory management tools and hire the staff and everything that goes into being able to ship hundreds of thousands of trading cards. But we've done that, and there's more work to do as always. But we have such a robust system now to build on top of, and now we're looking at how we can get these super unique, rare, one of one items that we can have in boxes, and how we can support sellers, potentially more sellers on the platform. And so we've really made strides on fulfillment. And honestly, I mean, I could be wrong about this, but it's been very eye-opening, because I don't know if there's many companies, if any, that can handle this amount of trading cards being processed. I mean, if I were to think of the amount of companies that handle this many single cards, it's probably less than the amount I can count on my fingers. And so it's really, again, just like kind of astonishing looking back, because it's been a month by month, week by week, day by day thing for us. But if you compare where we were at a year ago, it's night and day. And along with all these exciting growth of the platform, we've been able to work with some really awesome companies. So I'm sure you guys have seen that we're now partners with PSA. We have an awesome promo for you guys if you want to start out grading cards with them, where you get $25 off. We've been able to launch a trading card game alongside our friends at Pudgy Penguins. So we have custom Pudgy Penguins trading card game booster boxes, the first edition ones, that have a custom box or box boy card. So our mascot box boy, he is on the cards in a new game that is entirely like created not alongside us, but we've been able to have a part in it. Like, we have cards in the game with our character on it, and so like that's incredible. We worked with New York Comic Con and ESL, and we're continuing a lot of these partnerships through this year as well. And so, again, all this made possible by you guys. And really, our goal with these partnerships is, how do we take what we've built and create more value for you guys to get out of it? Watch Boxboy get added to Fortnite one day, Kens. And as a sort of final point on all the stuff that we've had going on over the past year, and all the exciting progress we've made, we've been able to work with so many amazing creators to help spread the word about Box, help explain things to our customers through videos and information. And so a massive shout out to Chloe, Drans, Grizzly, Rhino, Jayceto, Meathead, Lazy, Brokens, and plenty more for their support and really being shepherds of what Boxed is and what it's about and what we try to do with our service. Because it's easy to build something and then send it out into the void, but people like the ones I just mentioned and more make it possible to actually show it to the world. And on top of that, with our growth, we've been able to sponsor some amazing creators as well that I remember from growing up watching YouTube videos. So things like people like Vanos and cartoons and Crispy Pokemon, Ames, Darkness, DJ Knight, and now of course with this month Shroud. We're expanding the amount of people that we get to work with as a result of your guys' support. So it really has been like an incredible year. And looking back, it's like mind blowing. Like I look at any individual piece of it, I'm like, geez, we're working with Shroud. Like how do you even process that? I grew up watching Shroud frag movies and wanting to play like him. And um so yeah, I sorry if it's a little cheesy and sentimental, and I'll stop my ramble now. But this has been just like such an amazing ride so far, and I want to thank you all for being along for the ride.
Yeah, I think just to add to this, like, firstly, shout out to the community creators we've got so far. Like, you guys know what you've been doing. You've been doing some really cool content for us, and we've been loving it. I do really want to put this out there. If you are a community creator yourself, sorry, a creator yourself, and you'd love to become a community creator for us, please reach out to me. We're actually going to be looking at expanding the team. So even if you're not a creator yourself and you think, hey, I know someone who would be perfect for this, reach out to me with their name and let's get something going. Because I think there's some really cool people doing some really cool content, and I think we can help take it to the next level.
Yeah, absolutely. We want to support the people that are supporting us along the way. So if you are a creator or want to be, please reach out to Luke, and we will make sure to be in touch on that.
So first kind of Q&A break. Any questions on what we said so far from you guys? Just as we say that we see multiple messages. Okay, good one. I mean, we're going to go further into it, but from Colt's the first one. Wow, that's gone really, really quick. So is the Shroud partnership ongoing? Do you want to answer that, Skid?
Yeah. So we're sponsoring the entire Fragathon event. So for those of you who don't know, Shroud is doing a Fragathon where people can support his St. Jude's, the charity, through watching the stream, donating, but also he's doing all these really cool integrations where over the entire month of January and now a little bit into February, things like getting kills in video games that he's playing are contributing to charity. And if you look at the site now, things like opening boxes and interacting with social media posts on Boxed actually contribute to charity as well. And so I think we already hit our milestone 1 and activated some discounts on the site, as well as contributed, I think, somewhere to the tune of $3,000 or $4,000 to the Fragathon. But there's many more milestones to unlock there. Now beyond that, and I'll dive deeper into the Shroud, everything about the Fragathon. But beyond that, there's different elements that will exist on the site further on, and we have mainly structured this around really trying to make the biggest impact in this charity event. But we would love to work with people like Shroud into the future. So this is probably like a couple months long if you count the start of like working with him to the end of it all. But that's the first step essentially for us.
Nice. Yeah, I think just going a couple people asking about how they can reach out. So I'll put a proper form out for everyone so they can fill it. This isn't just TCG as well. If you are a Counter-Strike creator, or if you do something else, you think, hey, I've got an idea and I have an idea how I can integrate my content with Box's content, feel free to reach out with us as well on that.
Hey, Meathead, how's it going? For demo, he said, "Are you looking for investors?" We aren't currently raising any money, but if you want to reach out and potentially get involved, you can feel free to email us at hello@box.gg. Do we have a roadmap or any way for you guys to know where Box is heading? So right now we don't have one directly on the website, but we are looking at making more of a public roadmap to share with you guys. But one of the great things about these town halls is that we tell you not just the latest and greatest of what we've done, but also what we're looking to do in the future. So consider this chat as a roadmap for now, but in the future, we do want to have more of like a public facing established roadmap where you can see what's upcoming.
How can I advertise box to my groups? I've been telling my Pokemon League about it, but how can I do more?
Yeah, so you can create a affiliate code and share that with them. That way you can earn gems along the way. And beyond that, if they want to share with their friends, really, it's about collecting. So if you guys get awesome stuff from Box, posting the cool stuff that you pulled, things like that are ways to support us. And Ceasepire, it looks like you asked what's beneficial about this site versus your local game store. And I'm guessing that you're pretty new, so that's a great question. I'll try not to give a super long spiel, but essentially, the goal of Boxed is to alleviate a lot of the sort of stress or boring parts of collecting. And so, if you buy, let's say, the recent Prismatic Evolutions packs, then you get a lot of junk. You get a lot of the bulk cards that you don't want, and you maybe sell that back to your local game store for pennies. Maybe you keep them and they fill up a box somewhere. But for a lot of people, especially if they don't play the game and they just want to collect the cool cards, then those become a bit of a hassle. Also, packs don't really have displayed odds. So a pack might have a 1% chance at the rare hit, it might have a 0.1% chance. We don't really know because they don't disclose that anywhere. But the main thing is you don't really have control over those odds. And so you don't know what your return is on your spend. There's no real way to measure those things. For us, we try to make essentially repacks or boxes, as we call them on our platform, out of cards around a theme or category that are exciting. And then we show you the exact odds and we make the price of the box change dynamically based on the price of the items. So if you want the new EV out of the Prismatic Evolutions, you can go find a box where it's a 10% chance to get hit. Now, the price will be higher because the items in it are higher priced, but it's always a sort of formula saying that the price is fair based on what you're getting out of it. And so we try to make it super transparent, super easy, and then also super fun to open digitally. You don't have to go buy packs. You don't have to deal with scalpers or people on eBay. You just open the boxes, get cool items, and then have them sent to your door.
So are you all going to include Dragon Ball cards in the future? I think I can actually speak on this one. We actually were discussing about, what would be cool to add to the site in terms of other categories and cards. Best suggestion for you right now, drop it in the suggestions channel on what you want to see. It can be absolutely anything. I found out last night there's some TCGs out there that we never heard of and some other kind of cards and collections that were just mind blowing. So yeah, drop them in suggestions. The team sees it, we discuss it, and hey, it might just get added to the site.
Jimmy Wing asked, are there any plans to go straight from the inventory to grading before they go to the buyer? So for us, one of the big things is we guarantee all of our single raw cards to be near mint, and we guarantee that to TCG players near mint standard. So if you want to look at their scoring system, I think we have that available on our website as well as you can find it on theirs directly. One of the things about that is when we think about like a pack fresh near mint card, it's not always perfectly centered. It's not always there might be like printing defects or things like that that aren't somebody damaging the card but just how it's printed. And so one of the concerns about having it go straight from your boxed inventory to grading is that things like centering matter in grading, but as far as determining whether the condition is good on a card, they don't matter, right? And when we talk about condition, we're not grading cards, we're just talking about whether they have any sort of damage or defects. And so as far as having it go straight from your inventory to like PSA, it's something that we're considering on how we can do that. But we don't want you guys ending up with cards that are off center or something like that. And then you're unhappy because you got a grade that you didn't expect, right? And so, as far as how we look to do things like that, it's really just always keeping in mind that you guys know what you're getting. Because if you don't know what you're getting or there's any surprises, then obviously that's less than ideal, right? Now, you always can check out our marketplace where you can trade your single cards for graded cards. And those are already graded. They're in inventory. They're ready to ship out. And so those, of course, are guaranteed what they display.
Do you want to
Um,
jump into product updates? What's been going
yeah,
on?
absolutely. And by the way, if I didn't get to any of your guys' questions, we'll have more Q and A's in the next segments. So, yeah, moving on to product. We wanted to share with you guys all the things coming to Boxed, as well as some of the things we've done in the recent past. So, first of all, as some of you noticed today, Lorcana is now a category. So we added Disney Lorcana. It's been on the to-do list for a while, and now it is fully supported. There are some things that we're still waiting on. We want to make sure when we do things like Forge that we have the right cards and enough of the cards that we need, that you guys can make your own Forge boxes without having issues with getting the cards. So some things are still waiting to be turned on, but we do have Lorcana boxes out there right now. Next, we have battle animation improvements. So, there's a few things that we've been polishing on the battle side. Now there are countdown timers. You can actually see an animation for tiebreakers. So when you land on a tie, the backend provably fair system has a way of solving that, and people have like looked into that. But there's no real good visual way that we displayed it before. Now there's a nice tiebreaker animation. And we also added an alternative box opening animation. Now, this is something that I'm especially excited about because I hacked this together over my weekends, dabbling in software engineering again. And this is something that if you go on a box page and click the settings menu, there's a TCG opener option. And if you turn that on, then you get more of like a video game Hearthstone style experience that's a lot more like a trading card game. And so, when we originally built Box, the idea was that we could have anything on it, and so we didn't necessarily plan on just doing trading cards or just doing any specific thing. And so the spinner animation that we have is very much generic. Anything can be put in that spinner, but we wanted to make something that felt a lot more natural for trading cards, and so that is a new feature there. We also have a bunch of marketplace improvements. So how we display marketplace items and how we store them in our database has been improved. So if you guys have ever had the issue of finding a card that you saw previously and it seems to like kind of disappear sometimes, we fixed a lot of those issues as we like improve our tools there. And then we have a few upcoming things as well. So one of the things that we're working on in the near future is leaderboards. So you guys can earn additional gems by ranking on various leaderboards. We're also working on improvements to the exchange and launching that as a full feature, fully supported, fully designed, all the things that you guys have been waiting for on that. We're now making that a top priority. And we have a bunch of other stuff in the coming future, including new categories. We just launched Lorcana, but really we want to be a platform for all collectibles, all TCGs, everything we can think of that we might want to collect. We support it. And so new categories are also coming in the near future. I mean, to be honest, just I could list off a million things coming in the near future, but everything I just said is like up next. So be on the lookout for that. Now, moving on from that, there's just a bunch of quality of life stuff going on that, as far as improvements on our tech side. Like I said, we fixed some of the marketplace bugs, especially if you guys ever went to submit a marketplace order and you were getting an error. Now we display more clear errors, as well as we have some automated fixes for that. If you guys have an issue purchasing gems, we've been improving our anti-fraud flows, and so some of the bugs that you've seen, or the experience being lackluster on purchasing gems, if you guys had your card declined or things like that, we're constantly improving on these things, so that should feel a lot smoother now than it did like a week ago. And these again are things that we're always iterating on top of that, we have shipping updates. So we're finishing, I think we're pretty much finished with the last few orders of December. And we're already about a fourth of the way through January orders. So this is keeping up with our goal of at least being under 4 weeks. But really, we're constantly working to improve these times every day. And our goal in the near future is that we can really start getting these times down so that it's starting to match like what you would expect just buying cards off of eBay or buying stuff off a retailer online. It's a long way to go because again, when we're having to store like 50,000 trading cards in inventory and we're shipping out hundreds of thousands of cards, it gets pretty hairy. But thankfully we have an awesome team working towards that. And lastly, one of the things that we wanted to talk about that I know has been something that has been more and more of an issue as we have more and more people on the site is customer support. We have awesome customer support staff, but we don't have enough of them. And so sometimes getting responses takes longer. And also, they have lives, and we don't overwork people, or we try not to. And so, they clock out at a certain time of the day. And then if you send a message after that time, then you have to wait until the morning. If you send a message on weekends, because we don't, make them work weekends, then you can see how that would be an issue. And so we're bulking up our customer support help. And so we're going to be looking to provide best in class customer support, so you can message whenever and get an answer as soon as we possibly can, and get support on whatever issues you have or questions you have. And this is part of the initiative that we have for this year, of just making Box the best it can possibly be, and making the service best in every area possible.
Cool. So yeah, fair few updates I think we've had. Been a quiet month, you could
Yeah.
say. um, cool. Questions. Is there any idea of shipping to Spain, France, Portugal, Switzerland? So basically EU.
Yeah, so EU is something that we're working on. One of the big things that we're working on there is establishing the best ways to get cards over there, as well as how we want to store cards. Because right now we operate out of one main fulfillment center, but as we expand where we ship, then it's better to sometimes have another fulfillment center somewhere else. And so we're working out the details on that, but we are absolutely looking at how we can support more countries and more regions.
Cool. I think, do you know what? Let's just address it. Have we talked about updating gem drops?
Yeah, so gem drops is something that we are looking to update as well as make improvements on. And what I mean by that is, it's always going to feel kind of lackluster if you only get 5 or 6 gems. And, it doesn't make sense for us to hope that less people are online, because, of course, we want the company to grow and we want the user base to grow. But one of the things that we're looking at is how can we make gem drop more exciting, so that everyone has a chance at more than just a few gems. And so I can't go into too many details about what that means, but what you can know for sure is that in the future, there will, one, be more gems given away on Gem Drop, and also there will be more exciting ways to get larger amounts of gems. So we're working on the details of that, but it is something on our mind.
Good one here we got is do we know when profiles are going to drop? I know there's been a lot of conversation about this. Don't know if you want to say anything on it.
Yeah, so this is again one of the many things in the works. I don't have a specific date or timeline, but social features and profiles are definitely higher up on the list than a lot of other things. So I would say near future, mid future, something like that. Yeah, I was just gonna say we are also working on improvements to our reward system, which is that daily spin, as well as adding additional mechanisms of a similar fashion. So these are things that are happening.
This is a cool one. Are you offering any promos or incentives for military veterans or non-veterans?
At the moment, no. But I think one of the things that we talked about doing is, especially on occasions like the U.S. has Veterans Day, we look to be supportive in that way. So at the time, we don't have anything, but it's something to check back on.
I like the base set. Maybe bring boxes like that a little more often for a few days at a time. Ooh, limited time boxes.
Yeah, so the base set box I think was like our best performing box ever. Of course,
Oh, it
everyone loves
was.
vintage. And yeah, we had to pull that pretty quickly because of the amount of withdrawals we were getting. But one of the things that we are working on is how do we include more unique items in boxes, and make sort of limited boxes that we don't expect to be on forever, but have items that are more interesting, and not just, a raw card that you can get 10 or 100 of. And so right now, our entire business is based around, do we have enough of these cards to be able to send it to people, right? So even like a Moonbreon, we have to be mindful of how many of those we put in boxes, the odds. But in the future, we'll be able to have things like graded cards and other types of items in boxes as well. And of course, for vintage, that works really well because there's not that many vintage cards out there available, and not all of them are near mint, etc.
I think going back to that, what we said about suggestions, like if you guys have got any kind of limited suggestions you really want to see, throw them into the suggestions channel, make enough noise about it, and hey, it might just pop up. Oh, I think, do you know what, Marlon? It's been a
What's
big thing that's happened this month. Do you want to kind of talk about that little, that little birdie, the Fragathon?
up? Yeah, let's do it. We have partnered with Shroud, and I still have to take a second to process that when I say it out loud, because it's so crazy as a concept to me, working with someone of that caliber. So we are the official sponsor of Shroud's Fragathon fundraiser. This is a month-long subathon, similar to how other streamers have done subathons, except all of the proceeds, all of the money raised goes straight to St. Jude's Children's Hospital. And on top of that, Shroud is also donating a lot of money to St. Jude's through doing things that add to his frag counter as it's set up on the stream. And so this is, I mean, one, it's just an awesome event, right? That he's able to raise. I think right now it's past $500,000 for St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. But as far as how we're working with Shroud, it gets even more exciting. So tomorrow, January 31st, Shroud will be streaming all day long on Boxed, and he's going to be opening upwards of $150,000 worth of both physical and digital Pokemon and Magic boxes. So we've gone out and helped him get some of the rarest vintage boxes that we could find. You can see a picture in the town hall chat right now. Shout out to Waffles for helping making this possible. We've got some heavy first edition Pokemon packs. I think we have some beta packs from Magic. We've got basically the craziest stuff we could source. And we're doing a massive stream across the entire day tomorrow, where every pack he opens, every box he opens on the site, we're going to go up and up in rarity and value until he's opening, the most insane stuff we could possibly find. He's got people like Dr. Lupo and others at his house helping him out, talking about it, involved in the process. We also, thankfully, with our partnership with PSA, have been able to get him an on-site expert who will be there to look over what he pulls, talk about the history of the cards and all the details. And then they're also going to have a separate person running back and forth to PSA headquarters to get things graded as fast as possible. And almost all of the cards he's pulling are going to be given away. So this is like a really, really crazy event that it just saying it out loud, it's hard to even comprehend. But it's so incredibly exciting. And so make sure to check out his stream. We'll of course have links and whatnot on the site. And the second piece of this that is equally exciting is that alongside being able to do this massive stream event with him, we're running our own event on the site that contributes directly to the Fragathon and to St. Jude's charity. And so we've got 18 Shroud themes boxes on the website, and every box opened, every battle started, alongside things like interacting with us on social media, makes our counter go up. And so if you go to our event page on the website, maybe someone can drop a link, you can see that we have a bar that's filling up. And every time you guys interact with these different aspects of Boxed, you're actually donating inadvertently to St. Jude's Children's Hospital in the process. And so we're already past our milestone of the $3,750 milestone on the platform, which also unlocked some discounts for purchasing gems. And it looks like we're coming up on the $7,500 milestone really soon. And he hasn't even streamed yet. And so this is super exciting. Again, we get to give back, for all of the success that we've seen and the growth that we've seen. We get to give back with an awesome partner like Shroud. And our goal is to raise at least $15,000. It looks like we're on track to smash that. And so keep up the good work, guys. And you can also donate if you want to donate directly to the cause through Tiltify, which is a donation platform that we've set up alongside Shroud to make that possible. So in total, I think Shroud's raised somewhere over 500K so far. And through our partnership, we're hopefully, adding to that. But on top of that, because we've been able to sponsor him in such a big way, he said on stream recently that essentially all of the costs of staffing and his production and making this possible, Boxed has helped cover. And so we're really grateful to be able to support Shroud on this and work together on making something so awesome that for a good cause. And also, like, I don't even think I've seen a pack opening like this before, across multiple trading card games, the most vintage stuff you can have, obviously with Boxed and digital opening as a part of it as well. So again, just want to thank all of you guys for making something of this caliber possible for us. And I know I just did a lot of yapping, so thank you guys for for listening through it all.
Yeah, no, I think it's honestly going to just be such a mind-bending experience. Like I don't even know how to explain. Same as you, I grew up watching Shroud in Counter-Strike, and now working alongside is just mental to me. Leads you on to like community stuff. What are we doing for it? So tomorrow, as you've probably seen, well, actually for the last week, you've probably seen me spamming the TCG chat saying, "What do you guys want to see us give to you?" So we thought, what would be a fun way for you guys to get involved and win some fun stuff at the same time? So yeah, I mean, we just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, does he get a first edition Charizard? I think that's the thing we're all hoping to see with the big Fragathon. But then also alongside that, we've still got the giveaway that's going out with Shroud Fragathon. I'll drop the link now in chat for everyone. If you want the chance to win some huge gem bonuses, yeah, get entering in the Gleam link. There's a fair few entries so far, so want to be a part of it, join it, and it's gonna be good fun. On that note, Marlon, should we just open up to the floor?
Yeah, absolutely. And again, thanks so much, Luke, for putting together a lot of the community side of these events because a big part of this is, we wouldn't be able to do it without you guys. And now that we get to do it with you guys, how can we make it even more awesome? And so doing like things like watch togethers and things like that. Like, 6 months ago, I would have said, yeah, that sounds great if only we had someone to do that. And now we have someone to do that. So thanks again. So now, if anyone has any leftover questions or comments or things like that, we'll do a last section of Q&A before wrapping up.
Oh, first question: what feature in 2025 are you most excited for?
Here, how about if you want to give it a swing, Luke? If any of the things we talked about today or some other stuff sound exciting, and then I'll think on it for a second.
I'd say sociable features. I think it really opens up a way for everyone to have their own unique experience. Profiles to be tailored to everyone, being the ability to potentially showcase what you've got and some like your coolest pulls. You've probably seen in the chat like us having name tags and some cool colors. So, for example, say you've hit a certain card, hey, you might get a tag that's, one of one kind, and you can really show off like some of the best things to do. But I think, yeah, it just brings an element of fun and, takes that kind of like experience to the new level and collecting on our site. I don't know what you think.
Yeah, I think that's definitely one of the biggest features for me. Having a profile page where people can show off their forge boxes, their affiliate code, be able to in the future add each other and make groups and things like that. I think that that's like probably one of the most exciting things because we see how awesome you guys are. And one of the things that we noticed recently is that now that we're a little bit bigger, the chat is busy. It's super busy because there's a lot of people. And so how do we make it where you can have those, experiences connecting with each other over the thing we all love, which is these trading cards and Pokemon and Magic and whatnot. And so I'm really excited for that. I also am excited for some new experiences that we're going to be launching on the website. I can't talk about them too much, but we are trying to take the idea of pack opening or mystery boxes to a new level. And so I will say that much and let you guys know that it's coming in the near future. But yeah, I'm excited for you guys to see what it looks like when we have more than just a little spinner animation.
Yeah, actually, I'll add on to that. I think some of the categories that we've been discussing internally are, personally to me, I've been really excited, and I can't wait to share with everyone.
Still here is asking about bots taking drops and whatnot. So right now we already implement a lot of heavy like anti-botting systems. This was actually a reason that things like trivia had some issues in the past, and so we have a lot of that in place right now. But especially with these giveaways going through Gleam, they have really great anti-botting and a lot of good authentication systems to make sure that doesn't happen. And so we're doing everything we can to make sure that these giveaways and all of our efforts to give back are actually going to community members and not people trying to take advantage.
There was a good one I saw, which was, is Box going to be creating an app for mobile?
Yeah, so it's something on our radar. And we talked about this in the past. The big thing is when we look to create an app, it's although it's not entirely different tech, there's a lot of additional things that we have to do to make that possible. And right now, we're full steam ahead on adding new features and making the site better. And so, an app is probably in the future at some point in some form. But right now our focus is improving the website. And once we feel that we have all the features we want and we're really in a good place there, then it makes sense to port over to an app. But if we port over to an app, then everything else we do will be that much slower, right? And so we just want to make sure that we're really nailing everything that we have on
Yeah.
the roadmap now.
Fun little question. Someone's asked, what is our favorite Pokemon card each?
So sentimentally, the Ancient Mew is probably
Ooh.
my favorite. I remember having one of these as a kid, and it looks so different and it's so unique that like it resonated. I don't know. For me, it was just like the coolest thing ever. As far as like recent times, that's really hard. I'd say the 151
Ooh.
Flying Charizard is one that I like a lot.
I mean, I can jump. I'd say my favorite Pokemon of all time is a sentimental one as well for me. It's probably one of the first kind of like things I remember watching it, but then like looking at the cards is Team Rocket back in the day, and it's the Dark Blastoise. I mean, it's the card work. It's so nice. I mean, obviously we got some of those beautiful cards that have come out recently. I know everyone has love for Moonbreon and stuff, but I think I'm just a sucker for nostalgia and the retro things, and I think Team Rocket's some of the coolest set. And I know, yeah, there's a Team Rocket coming out this year, and that's going to be super hyped.
Awesome. Well, given that I seem to be having some technical difficulties, and I think we're pretty much at the end of this thing, I'm gonna wrap it up here. But if anyone has any additional questions, we're around in Discord. You can always reach out to support on the site. And also, if you have any suggestions, we do have a dedicated Discord channel for that, where you guys can tell us what you want to see. So, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to listen to us ramble. And thanks again for being a part of this journey with us. Bye, everyone.